Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to the ANSI three-level architecture for the theoretical agency database. So, I can't even pronounce that. The theatrical database where we talk about booking bands for different people, which has nothing to do with theatrics at all, but who cares? We would have, instead of view 1, view 2, view 3, which are generic names, we would have we'll do sales, call center, and finance. For example, we need another view, but I can't be able to draw it in. Oops, that should be finance. Now, what you see in front of you is called the ANSI, so I'll spell it out for you, because I'm nice. Three-level architecture for our database, where you've got the physical layer, check, the internal schema, or the internal level, check, the conceptual level, check, and the external level, check, which relates to this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to be aware of is the following. This database is normally kept on a disk. So in our example, it's kept on a disk. The internal schema is literally how the database is structured. So how many tables we've got, how many fields we've got, how many records we're going to keep. And this is called the database management, so DBMS, database management system software. Now the programmer, so this is your programmer, who made this software and made this database, are the only ones who know the background, the structure. So what I mean by that is this, where you've got all the tables, which fields are using, what data types are using. Are you using name, text? Are you using number? Are you using Boolean, true or false? The programmer is responsible for that. The person using the system, like the call center, won't have a clue how that database is structured. They don't need to know. What they will see is something like this. SIMS is a database management system. Behind the scenes is a giant database, huge. Do teachers need to see the database structure for it? No. So, SIMS is a database management system. It's software. It uses the database, but literally, people don't need to see what's behind the scenes. Now, the programmers who wrote the software, I've already said that they know this structure. If there needs to be any changes, they will be the ones responsible for this. We then have the conceptual schema, which is this level here. And what this is controlled. And it's controlled by the database administrator. And this is a gentleman who's not a programmer. He did not create the database. His job is to maintain it. In our school, we have Miss Anita, who does that for SIMS. They're responsible for who accesses the database. What access can they see? They can add new data, they can remove data from the database. So they can add new customers, they can remove customers, etc. But they're not involved with the structure of the database. This is an important layer because it has an impact on how people view the database. It has an impact on how it's perceived by different users. A way of saying this is the logical schema. So it has an impact due to the logical schema on how people see our database. And we'll talk about that in the next bit. So let's take the concept of SIMS management system, which schools use. You've got different users who will require different views. So let's get rid of user 1 and let's put teacher. I'm going to put T for teacher, P for parent, and H for head teacher. These three people will have different views from each other. Let's give some examples. Number 1. Finding out student information and looking at their health issues. That'll be a teacher view. The parent won't need access to that. About their own child. Pointless. The head teacher would also need access to that. So they both will get the same view. Teachers will not be able to make changes to this information. So let's imagine that the blood group of a student is not A+, it's just A. Teachers won't be able to change that. So they've already got read access. Whereas the head teacher will have write access. They can change it. This one is an app from Sims. It's a view, which is about a parent's children. And they can see what clubs the kids have, when homework is due, etc. and different messages. If we go back to, let's just clear the screen. So we've got teacher, parent, head teacher. Head teacher will not need access to this. They won't see it. The parent will definitely, the teacher will not see that exact screen. Okay. The parent won't be able to make any changes to it, so it's only read access. So the parent won't be able to add clubs their kids do. Well, actually, will they? Actually, they probably might be able to do, so that'll be write access. I take it back. Okay. So, let's finish it off. This next screenshot is showing you another Sims view of all the equipment the head teachers ordered for the school. Do you think they want parents looking at this? Nuh-uh. So parents won't have access, they won't see it, so it won't be on the parent view. Will it be on the teacher view? Confidential information. Or it might be on the teacher view, but certain fields, like price, let's add price here, will be chopped off so that teachers can't see that. Will it be on the head teacher's view? Yes, it will. And there you have it, the different views. Now, within the different views, you can perform different searches. You can query the data. That means searching the data. Teachers will be able to search for certain information. Parents will be able to search for certain information. Head teachers will be as well. Different information. You'll then extract the data. You can do that by having reports. So if I show you a Sims report, this is a report for the whole school. So imagine I'm a head teacher, I get to see all of this. I get to see the behavior summary for certain classes maybe. The teacher could have access to this as well. Do you think the parent would have access to this report? No. The attendance for the whole school. Reminders. Messages. Here is merits or house points or whatever you call them. That is data being extracted from the database and being manipulated and displayed in a nice way. You can also print out these reports on sheets of paper.